Today I'm going to bring you through the first 3 steps to bring yourself on to learn how to jam on guitar. A lot of players nowadays want to figure out how to jam along with songs on guitar, how to jam with others, how to jam in general, and what it even means. So these 3 steps are going to be the first 3 you could begin to take to get yourself on your way. Hey, my name's Dave from guitarico.com. I put up new lessons each week on YouTube and I have a membership site. So if you want to check out more lessons and more tutorials and things like that, you'll find a link below. Let's get into the lesson. Step number 1. Get concrete on one slow song. Here's the deal. I'm saying get concrete. What I mean by that is, pick a song that you can play for 2 to 3 minutes at a time. And pick a song that goes fairly slow. So for example, if it was Oasis, I wouldn't start with What's the Story, Morning Glory, like What's the story, Morning Glory. There's too much like jumping and things at chords, but Live Forever is a lovely one to start with if you want like this. Now, why is that? It's because the first song I mentioned, Morning Glory, the chords were jumping in unexpected places, which means that if you're trying to jam with others with a song that does that, and you lose track with them, you fall out of sync with the person you're jamming with, it's so much harder to jump in to figure out where you are. Whereas you saw there with Live Forever, as an example, that had the 4 chords G, D, 5, A minor 7, C, then back to D. And it was 4 beats, like dun 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 D D. And when it's like that, like if you miss the D chord, you just stop on the D chord, you jump back in on the next chord. So pick a song that's pretty straightforward and that you're concrete on, and that's a brilliant song to jam with others on. And I did say slow as well, because even if it's 4 chords and it's moving super fast, you have a much harder time to get in with the people you're jamming with. Step number 2. Now that you have a concrete song, and now that you've picked one that is fairly straightforward, I'd suggest hopping on YouTube and playing along with the original song as well. And the really cool thing about YouTube is you can slow it down. If you're not sticking to the pace of the song, the tempo of the song, the speed it goes at, you can hit the wheel and slow down the playback speed. Set it to 0.75, 0.8, 0.9, 0.6, whichever one you want. So just pick a tempo that you'll stick with. And that means now that you've gone from a player who was saying, geez, how do I do jamming? Who do I play with? To a player who has picked a song that has 4 chords going around in a loop at a nice steady pace. So you got your song, you practiced it so you were concrete on it. Step 2. You picked it up on YouTube and you played along with it. So now you're all of a sudden, you can see the progression here. It's like that Neanderthal thing. So it's like at the start, we're all just on the ground trying to play the chords. And then when we get up, we're getting more advanced. So now we can play with it. And finally then, step 3, play the song with a friend. There's 1 or 2 little caveats to keep an eye out on with this one. The first thing is, be sure yourself and your friend have learnt the song from the same source. Whether that's the same YouTube video, the same Ultimate Guitar Sheet. It's like that old saying, so you're singing off the same hymn sheet, except we're playing off the same guitar sheet. Here's why that matters. If I take a song like Brown Eyed Girl, watch this. So I could go like this. The other version. I'll play it another way. Standing in the sunlight laughing. Or another version. All behind the waterfall with you. Now, sorry, kind of got into it as it went on. Did you see the way there that I did the 4 chords, but each time I played them like in different levels of like bar chords, finger picking and things, or picking and things like that. So can you imagine if the picked guitar version of Dave met up with the open chord, just keeping it together, Dave, and they jammed? there'd be no real solid thing to base off. But if you meet up with somebody who's learned it the same as you, now it's like you're both playing at the same time and you're basically mapping each other. So that, guess what? If you do miss your D card, or your friend misses their D card, or it doesn't sound too clear, or something goes funny, you look at the other player and you go, oh yeah, we're on D. Or the next card, oh, I know the next card, and they got this one covered. And what you're meant to be playing, the strumming on the card, even if you miss it, your ears are still going to get fed that sound by the other player, which means that you're going to feel more solid. Man, it's as simple as this. So just to wrap up these steps, step 1 was pick a song that you're concrete on and that you could play for a length of time. Step 2 was to play with the recording and slow it down if you had to. Step 3 then was to find a friend that learned it the same way and play with them together. Those are your first 3 steps on how to get jamming. Now, of course, I could write a book on jamming. Might do someday. It'd be so cool. Because it's one thing that like you just have to like jump into it to get into it, okay? But most of all, have fun. And I did have a discussion with another guitar teacher from the Netherlands about jamming. This guy, he jams with the students as well, and we had a really good discussion. So you'll find that pop up in the link above here or in the description below. Most of all, keep in touch. Let me know how you're getting on and let me know how your first jam went. Thanks for watching. See you soon.